The Canadian government will deposit up to $7,200 into your child's education savings for free. No strings, no lottery, no catch. It's called the Canada Education Savings Grant, and according to Employment and Social Development Canada, roughly 1 in 3 eligible families never collects a single dollar of it. Today, we fix that and figure out whether an RESP or a TFSA is the smarter move for your family. An RESP, Registered Education Savings Plan, is a government-registered account designed specifically to save for a child's post-secondary education. Here's how it works. You open an RESP, name a beneficiary, that's your kid, and start contributing. The money grows completely tax-sheltered inside the account, just like a TFSA or RRSP. The CRA sets a lifetime contribution limit of $50,000 per beneficiary. There's no annual contribution limit, so you can front-load it, drip in monthly, or somewhere in between. The key difference from every other registered account? The government matches your contributions with grant money, and we're going to get into exactly how much in about 30 seconds. Before we do, I put together a free 2026 Canadian Money Moves checklist that covers everything we talk about on this channel. Link in the description if you want it. Here's where the RESP becomes almost unfair in the best possible way. According to Employment and Social Development Canada, the government deposits a Canada Education Savings Grant, the CESG, equal to 20% of your annual RESP contribution on the first $2,500 you put in each year. That's $500 of free money every single year for up to 14 years, which adds up to that $7,200 figure from the opening. The math says, if you contribute just $2,500 per year starting at birth, you collect the maximum CESG by age 14. Lower-income families can qualify for an additional 10 to 20% on the first $500 contributed through the additional CESG, meaning some families get up to $600 per year, not $500. There is also the Canada Learning Bond, which deposits up to $2,000 into the RESP of qualifying low-income families with zero contribution required. That is genuinely free money with no match needed. So why would anyone use a TFSA instead of an RESP? One word: flexibility. An RESP comes with a condition. The money must be used for qualifying post-secondary education. If your child skips university, goes straight into a trade, or decides to travel the world indefinitely, you have limited options. You can transfer up to $50,000 of RESP growth into your own RRSP if you have the room, but you'll owe tax and a 20% penalty on the remaining accumulated income. A TFSA has zero restrictions on use. The money you put in was already taxed, grows tax-free, and can come out anytime for any reason. Education, a down payment, an emergency, with no penalty, no questions from the CRA. The TFSA 2026 Cumulative Contribution Room, for someone who has been eligible since 2009, sits at $102,000 according to the CRA. That is a significant pool of flexible, sheltered savings. Let's put actual numbers on this. You contribute $2,500 per year to both accounts. $2,500 into an RESP, $2,500 into a TFSA, invested in a broad index ETF returning 7% annually. After 18 years, the RESP produces approximately $98,000. The TFSA, with identical contributions and returns but no government grant, produces approximately $89,000. The difference, roughly $9,000, is almost entirely the compounded value of the CESG. The RESP wins on growth every time when the child actually goes to school. Now, here's where most people get it wrong. They treat this as either or. The strongest strategy the data supports is RESP first. Maximize the $2,500 to capture the full $500 CESG. Then direct any additional education savings into a TFSA for flexibility. Use the RESP as your primary vehicle, the TFSA as your overflow and safety valve. You're not choosing between them, you're stacking both. 3 mistakes worth calling out directly. First, waiting. The CESG has a carry-forward provision. You can catch up one prior year's grant per year. But you can only carry forward 1 year at a time, and the grant expires when your child turns 17. Starting at birth and dripping in consistently is far more efficient than trying to catch up later. Second, over-contributing. The $50,000 lifetime limit is per beneficiary. Go over it, and the CRA charges 1% per month on the excess. That erodes your gains fast. Third, and this one is specifically for lower-income families, the Canada Learning Bond. According to Employment and Social Development Canada, billions of dollars in CLB money goes unclaimed every year because families simply don't know it exists or assume it doesn't apply to them. If your family income qualifies, opening an RESP costs you nothing, and the government deposits the first $500 automatically. That is a 100% return before you contribute a single dollar. Ready to open one? Wealthsimple offers an RESP with commission-free ETF investing and a clean onboarding flow. Solid pick if you want a hands-off experience. Questrade is the go-to if you want more control over your ETF selection at low cost. For your TFSA overflow savings, EQ Bank consistently offers one of the highest interest rates available on a registered savings account in Canada. Links to all three are in the description. No pressure, just options worth knowing about. And if you want a one-page breakdown of the smartest Canadian money moves for 2026, including exactly how to set up this RESP plus TFSA combo, the free 2026 Canadian Money Moves checklist is linked in the description. Follow the Gain channel for weekly Canadian money breakdowns